Nope. I'm trying to think of all the words I can think of. No is the one that comes out.
Nicht. Nein. How do you say no in Spanish? Feliz Navidad.
No, that wouldn't be it.
Okay, well, now that we're in mailbag.
Well, how about niet?
Yeah, that's not Spanish.
We do Russian.
So I got a passel of mailbags to get stuff out. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm saving the best one for last. That's foreshadowing.
So I have a friend in Germany. I said, hey, do you know what 3 times 3 is? And he just said no.
What a jerk.
Dickwad.
So here's a sign I ran across, and it's an actual sign.
See, we should really have. See, I remember when Tesla did signs, but who else did signs? Remember the original hit?
Oh, sign everywhere, a sign.
Block another scenery break in my mind.
Oh, Brownsville Station, wasn't it?
Or was that was smoking in the boys' room.
Yeah,
which is
5-man electrical band.
You, sir, are a god.
Wow. The crap that comes out of my mouth. I will never forget, some girl says to me one time, and this is years ago, and out of the blue, her last name was Werfel. And I said, wow, I haven't heard that name in a long time. She says, who did it belong to? And
Danny?
I went, Danny Werfel. And she goes,
who?
Yeah, the college football quarterback.
Yeah, did she go who or did she know?
She knew it was her cousin.
Oh, thank God. Because so often you go, the kids they're looking and go,
but
what?
I'm not a college football guy. Why did Danny Werfel stick in my brain?
He had a great senior year. Was he up for the Heisman?
I suppose that's true. That's probably
in the NFL for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is all the longer you should really play in the NFL, really.
So I got a passel of stuff to get through.
All right.
So here's a sign I ran across that's actually in a park. Notice. Thank you for noticing this new notice. You're noticing it has been noted. And let's see if I can read the bottom.
Nice.
And we will be reporting it to the authorities.
You got your phone on, they already know.
Yes. Headline. And I love it and this is a headline from a YouTube video by Taylor the Fiend.
So Taylor Swift does have YouTube accounts. Good.
Woman falsely accuses men of assault, and now she's being sued.
Duh.
I guess.
So close.
I just love. Now she's being sued. Damn it, she's being sued. There's nothing we can do. Okay.
Oh, I got one picture I want to tell you about, though.
Okay, show me. Or tell me.
From the Associated Press.
Yep.
It's this great picture of Santa running with 4 kids. And one of the kids has a Flash t-shirt.
Okay.
It's in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Santa's bringing presents to the kids in this village. It is the cutest picture. And the Flash thing just seems so out of... Because he's got his arm up like this, that weird way Flash runs in the movies.
Yep.
It's just...
And happy as a clam, isn't he?
They're all just excited to be there. Well, except for the one kid who's not keeping up with the rest. He's obviously like the reverse Flash.
Florida police are reporting that a woman ticked off about a pizza delivery tip returns to where she dropped it off to stab the man several times.
I'm sorry?
Yes. She didn't like the tip she got for delivering a guy's pizza. So she went back and stabbed him a few times. That's for the crappy tip.
Huh.
Guys,
by the way, the best,
okay.
We have found that the best folks for tips are NHL centers. They do it for a living. If you know, you know.
Okay. It's hockey lingo.
Yeah.
Okay. Tip
90. A whole ton of goals now are not scored by just being shot into the net.
Oh, they're being tipped.
Yep.
Nice.
At the end of one, they have Brad Marchand, the world's greatest, weirdest,
tipper,
dumbest jerk.
Okay.
Who plays for Boston? That figures.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end, he goes, I don't know. I like tipping, which was the best line of the thing. It worked. but it was Brad, so it made it less fun.
Yeah. Emergency dispatchers in parts of England have been told to ask some people requesting ambulance service to come to the hospital on their own. An internal memo. I know I've got a spear sticking out of my chest. Okay, but you're only 8 or 12 for 15 blocks from the hospital.
Listen, you're just 2 miles out. Come on in.
I have a sucking chest wound. Okay, what you do is you put a little saran wrap over it.
Wait. I saw this on what was the old TV show about the U.S. In Plain Sight.
Okay.
Where for a sucking chest wound, you make in this chest wound, you take a straw hose and you put it in a half bottle of water, and you're still not walking though.
No, see, that's the problem.
You're laying.
Yeah. An internal memo from the West Midlands Ambulance Service directs dispatchers to ask patients with severe abdominal pain. Hello, I have severe abdominal pain. Who have fallen. Hello, I've fallen and I have severe abdominal pain.
And I can't get up. Hey, we've got no commercial for you.
Or who are vomiting. Hello, I've fallen. I have severe abdominal pain and I'm vomiting. To bring themselves to the emergency room. It's going to be an easy drive with the gunk all over your windscreen.
How?
Yeah, because when I've had severe abdominal pain, I'm bent over. I snap over like a book being closed. Honk. Sure, I'll drive in. It says during periods of high demands, the dispatchers should also ask people who may be having a stroke or a heart attack
to just come on in,
or have suffered major burns to come to the hospital themselves. Officials cited high demand for ambulance services and long response times as reasons for the change.
Did you read any of the Longmire books, or did you watch the TV series?
No, I think Ann watched it. She thought it was terrific.
It's spectacularly good. It's leaving Netflix, you bastards. I did get a Longmire novel for my kids for Christmas. So
that's sweet. Nice.
But they would always now think about it. They're in a county in Wyoming that they describe as roughly the size of Delaware.
Yeah, it's big.
A sheriff and 3 frickin' deputies, right?
Yep.
So they often transport people in the back of the Bronco.
Yep.
Is it the way back? Is that what that's called? At the back end of a... Nope, that's the machine, you moron.
You read me so well.
They often transport them, and I go, well, that's weird. They'd never do that. And then, of course, I saw it twice more in Metropolitan-type TV shows.
Yep.
Is this what they're hoping for? That someone will just lob them in the back of their car? And
maybe. I mean, I'm trying to think about, do
they also tell them maybe to have a bus schedule handy?
Here's the problem. Case? If you've had a stroke, you may not be able to walk. How are you going to drive an automobile?
Okay, first of all, if you've had a stroke.
Yeah.
How are you going to drive? Period. End of sentence.
Exactly.
Dumb. Where is this?
England.
Of course it is.
What, East Midlands, I think?
How is that socialist medicine working for you?
People in Finland have been...
Even in the 60s on Call the Midwife, the flying squad gets there in a half hour maybe.
Yeah.
On a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but luckily you don't pay for it.
Are you ready? Are you ready for what Finland's up to?
What are the fine Finns doing these days?
Well, they've been unsettled by their expansionist neighbor, Russia.
Well, there have been wars like this.
And their recent accession to NATO. They're increasingly taking national self-defense into their own hands.
Whose hands did they have it in before?
Government.
Got it.
It's rallying to strengthen its national self-defense beyond its traditional military capabilities. The popularity of weapons training in the Nordic country has soared in recent months. Few places tell the story of the rise of the Finnish affinity for self-defense more than shooting ranges that are riding a boom of interest.
Too soon.
Well, it should be a bang of interest, right?
Too soon, dude.
Whatever. So President Vladimir Putin's order for a full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022 continues to resonate in many Finnish minds.
You think?
Partially explains the ballistics binge. Yeah, they share, what, a 1,200-mile border with them or something like that?
Yep.
And so the Finns are going to the range. Good for them. I think that's a great idea.
2 thumbs up.
This is horrifying. The next 2 are horrifying.
I'll be the judge of that.
Now, if you know any musicians, particularly those who produce their own music.
You mean like David Copperfield? Oh.
David Copperfield is not a musician. Yes, musicians. Yes. Not magicians.
Easy mistake.
This is, they may put their...
Don't look at me like that, Lou.
music up for streaming on certain places, specifically Potisfy.
It's where you put up like recipes for chicken pot pie
and biscotti,
pot roast.
Anyway, this is an article
and certain brownies, but that's another story.
From Ted, I believe it's Gioia, Gioia.
Sure.
And he goes as the honest broker. He's a music critic. He noticed something odd on his Spotify account.
Yeah.
Now, he listens to jazz every day.
Okay, there's a problem already.
He pays special attention to new releases, but a lot of his playlists are filled with artists he'd never heard of before. Who are they? And you know, jazz guys.
Yeah.
No. They're the hipsters of the jazz, of the music world, really, because they know all the old, all the new.
They know.
Yeah, they really do.
This is not like guesswork at all.
No. So he's trying to figure out how
much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck peck. Now.
Oh, nice.
And you're welcome. In April of 22, he felt justified in sharing his concerns with readers. He published an article called "The Fake Artist's Problem is Much Worse Than You Realize." He was careful not to make accusations he couldn't prove. But what he found out was that many of those artists live in Sweden, where Spotify has its headquarters. According to one source, a huge amount of streaming music originates from just 20 people who operate under 500 different names. Some of them were generating supersized numbers, like an obscure Swedish jazz musician who got more plays than most of the tracks on Jean-Baptiste's We Are, which just won a Grammy. How is that possible?
How, Scott, could that be possibly possible, sir?
Even a listener noticed they kept hearing the same track over and over on Spotify, but when checked, the name of the song was always different. Even worse, these almost identical tracks were attributed to different artists and composers. He created a playlist and soon had 49 different versions of the same song under various names.
Stupid.
Here you go. Spotify's paying them and incentivizing them if they make hits.
Well, yeah.
So Spotify is competing against people, against its own folks, really. They're competing against the other musicians. Are you ready for some of the names? These were the best part.
Yep.
Trumpet Bumblefig.
Trumpet
Bumblefig.
Okay.
Bumble Misty Wall. This one I like. Whomping Clover. It's a jazz name if I ever heard one.
Yeah, but more for a jazz band, not a song.
Queezpoor.
Queez E.
Mfumi. Let's see. Swift's Park and Vatio Bud.
And they're all the same song.
Yeah. And here's what's happening. And if you watch really carefully, CEO and Spotify is selling millions of dollars worth of stock every year.
Yeah.
This is a way of, in the radio industry, it was called payola, where they would pay DJs or pay
they pay radio
program
stations to
directors
play songs.
And make hits out of them.
Yep.
But this way they're doing it.
But that's back in the day when you could walk in with a 45 that you had pressed.
And a DJ might play it if you
might play it.
Yeah. Yeah. But Spotify's doing it itself and multiplying the effort and walking away with the money.
Isn't that I'm trying to think of a word.
Fraud?
That would be the word I was trying to look for, yes.
Yeah. I think the lawsuit is going to be hefty.
Well, it should be entertaining, and it'll have its own soundtrack for the movie.
And almost finally, that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, in church, it means you got 45 minutes left.
Volunteers in Western North Carolina are trying to help people left homeless by Hurricane Helene. They say local building officials are standing in their way. Ask me how. Just ask me
how. How, pray tell, would these local officials be standing in there? Are they literally standing in their way?
Whoa, yeah, you could call it literal. They're requiring permits for temporary shelters.
Hey, God. Wait. Okay.
One volunteer gets it.
What?
Yeah, you got to have a permit, because there's ever the officious ones. Who cares about the people? Where's the permit?
So ever the greedy bastard.
Yeah, this is insane. Absolutely insane. But one volunteer said,
who knew the really big money was in local government?
I can tell you our organization, and I'm 100% okay telling you this, we've been operating on the premise of forgiveness, not permission. They're building the shelter. Saying, oh, didn't know. Sorry. Can we get the permit now? Thanks. Yeah, you can just write it right there.
Okay, I'm guessing a whole lot of places work like that.
Another
Denny was right.
Denny
Schaefer was right
about. Oh,
it's
yeah.
much easier to ask for, because once he came running out. I'm at a radio station. The jock on the air comes running out. Denny says, "I'm sorry," and runs back into the control room. And Greg Swedberg, his boss, looked at me and goes, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Well, Denny was the kind of guy who'd apologize before he did it, which was really nice of him.
Which was nice of him. He'd still do it.
By the way, he just retired from mornings. Did you see that?
No, did he? Good for him.
He just retired from mornings, and he's starting something else. It's called Denny Radio. I don't know what it is. You may want to look into it.
All right. He actually was thinking of going. He sent out a couple tapes on shows we did one morning at LOL.
Oh, yeah.
Said, hey, would you be willing to move to San Diego? San Diego, let's see, moderate temperatures, ocean. God, no, I wouldn't move there.
Earthquakes.
BFD. The problem it has, of course, is you're in California, which...
And you'd be alone.
I would be all by myself.
Another volunteer said they get around the permitting process by building insulated buildings with no plumbing or electricity that are legally qualified as sheds instead of houses. There's something they're going to be able to keep when they're back in their homes if they opt to live in it. That's between them and the county, but we're giving them a shed. I just love this. Now,
so you want to play this game?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it.
Let's play this game, shall we?
I'm willing to take a shot at it. What you got in your hot little hand there? Keep going. There you go. The everyday earbud. It's not a dog, is it? That plays basketball? No, it's Airbud. Sorry.
So I got this from Nancy Fuchs, who used to work for us at Net Radio. And she's...
You mean Nancy Fox?
Yes. I don't think she cares anymore. She's retired.
She is. I met her at JON back in the day. She was...
Yeah, you knew her.
When I knew her, she was the assistant to the farm director.
Yeah, and you guys have known each other for a long time, you and Margaret and she.
Yeah.
So I get this.
It's not like we're pals.
I get this thing.
What I know about Nancy now always comes on Facebook. So
that looks like it's wrapped up in brown paper, and it's Nancy Fuchs, and I go, huh? What the? Why is she sending me checks? Because it looked like a box full of new checks. So I unwrapped it and I see everyday earbuds. Maybe she doesn't like our over-the-ear headphones
Well, she'd have to be watching.
Well, that was it. But my wife will say, you got to get rid of the headphones. I said, we're radio guys. This is a radio show you can see. That's all. She goes, yeah, well, no. And I said, yeah, well, yes.
Hang on, Ann.
Oh, that's the other one. She hates that you vape.
Yeah.
So I opened it up going, why would you send me earbuds? Why? But it didn't. That doesn't sound like
Did
earbuds.
you open it?
I did.
And what's in it?
Well, I'm trying to open it again, but I can't find the seam.
Tell me what's in it. I'll believe you. I'm one of the 3 people left that will.
Stickers.
Of? The old net radio stickers. Well done, Nance. Well done.
That is the original logo we put up.
Right back at the very beginning.
Yep. At the very beginningest.
Still classy, though.
Yep. And you'll notice that the circle with the N and the lightning bolt in it is what we use nowadays. And that's my favorite logo. This one's just too big.
Nope, I love that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives you that net.radio. What were we back then? Netradio.
Network.
Yeah.
No, we were netradio.com, netradio.net is what we were.
That was at .net.
Yeah. Because net.
I like that
network.
because when you look at it, it evokes cutting edge new and nostalgia at the same time.
Yep. A cool logo.
I don't care if it's a little big. It's not that. It's not.
Don't we have it that on the back of the jackets we got, the racing jackets? Isn't that
I
on
was
the back?
not there for the racing jackets.
Yes, you were.
Mm-mm.
I could have sworn you were.
I think by then the other Scott had
gone.
I don't know.
Well, who knows?
After he stole Swedberg's idea for whatever it was.
For everything. He swiped everything. The guy was
Anyway, the cool logo. Thanks, Nance. Okay.
Okay, what?
Speaking of like wandering down memory lane, I got a note from my brother-in-law.
Okay.
And Gary's married to Michelle, so he's the original Fanucci of the Fanuccis.
Oh, there. He's the original.
Not really the original. There are Fanuccis before him, but they don't count.
Okay.
And all it says, missed Bodro's Christmas Eve from your podcast reference this week, triggered memories, and a big smiley face. We used to, on Christmas Eve, before dinner, a bunch of us would go to Bodro's. It was not owned by my dad anymore.
Yeah.
But my wife and I, my sister-in-law, the Fanuccis, at one point even Eric and Cara. It was a hoot. We just sat around, had a cocktail or two, and caught up.
What a great time.
A marvelous time.
Which explains the in the gutter outside Bodro's reference.
Yeah. Oddly enough, the day before Gary sent me a note, Berger sent me a note, Tim.
Oh, hey, Tim.
From the webpage at WJON, a station I actually did work at.
Yeah.
With a kind of a AP version of a history of Bodro's. So I learned the name of the original Bodro who started the thing.
Okay.
Frank
Bodro.
Yep. I heard what Walter. Okay. By the time I was old enough to know anything, the only Bodro left there was Minnie, and she was very old and lived in an apartment in the building across. There's our parking lot, and then there was a hardware store one way, and if you went the other direction, there was just a little driveway. Mm-hmm. And in that building, at the time my dad bought it, it was an off sale. So Amos kept the off sale and sold Dad the bar.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Minnie was behind that. And that's right. Minnie, I don't remember if it was Minnie or my dad that would tell me some of the old stories, both, I'm guessing, when I was a kid. And it was like, cool.
Yeah. Those are fun memories, ain't they?
Yep. How odd that they matched that way. Gary also sent me a story, but I'm not sharing that till later.
Okay. Let's head over to the rest of the comments. By the way, tell Gary he doesn't have to text you. He can just leave the comment where he heard it. Yeah, but then you get your grubby little hands on it and probably twist it all over and make it into something perverse and unclean. That's not true. And speaking of which, apropos of This Is True Really News Mailbag, episode 160. Yeah. From JessaLynn.
Miss Jess.
Another great video, gents. And by that, I mean Scott, because that Tony person has never rubbed me the right way. He seems odd, like he belongs in a gutter outside an old bar someplace in the Midwest.
Upper Midwest.
Upper Midwest.
Really?
No.
Well, that certainly sounds like JessaLynn to me. So what did she actually rate?
Another great video, gents. Heart. 2 laughing, crying emojis.
Yep. See, Jess actually called me and said, "You're the only reason I watch because that other guy's a moron."
She sent me a certified letter.
She actually came to my house.
Jessa moved in. Let's move on to other things before this becomes untoward.
It's already got untoward.